guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to show you how to do this entire makeup look. So lately I've been totally inspired by like the 90s vibe for makeup. Obviously this is not a period makeup, this is not like true to the time or anything like that. This is a very much 2017 spin on a 90s makeup. So this is like what I've been wearing quite a lot lately. It's my go-to look, I suppose. And I see you guys asking for these kind of looks, especially when I'm vlogging and things like that. You guys are kind of asking for tutorials on the makeup look, so here it is. If you would like to see how I created this look, stay tuned. Oh my god, I'm in such HD. Hello! Let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Kiehl's Daily Reviving Concentrate. You guys know I love it. And we're going to take 4 drops of that. We're just going to rub it into our hands and then we're going to press that all over. Now that's on, I'm going to be using my Beam Team Bronze by the Estee Edit. I'm not sure if I've used it on YouTube before, but I have been using it a fair bit in real life. And it's basically like a hydrate and glow moisturiser, primer. I'm not quite sure, but I really do like it. So it's quite like a tanned colour. But when you rub it in, it just gives the most beautiful glow to your skin. So I like to use it underneath my foundation. And also by itself, I wore it by itself when I was away in Ibiza because we kind of like all made a pact to not wear makeup, and I was like, well, I'll just shove this on because technically it's not makeup. I got caught out. They were like, you have something on your skin. And I was like, yeah, I do. But I just like to use this all over, put it right into my hairline, and you don't need too much of it. Glowing, right? I'm going to go straight in with my pigment stick. This is the Iconic London pigment stick, which is basically like their foundation stick. Now it does, I'm actually going to take my hoop earrings out, this is too much commitment. Now this does look a tiny wee touch dark for me now. Oh, that's annoying. It used to be my perfect shade. But I'm just going to use it anyway, and then I'm going to highlight it so it's the right colour. And I like to use my oils and things like that underneath stick foundations because I want them to be really dewy, you know. Next I'm going to take my buffer brush from Iconic. This is the really cool handheld, like it like fits in your palm, like perfect. I like to hold it this way. And it literally just blends your foundation in like 2 seconds. And another thing I've used this brush for is putting makeup on my body. So if you're like highlighting your chest or anything like that, it's amazing for putting makeup on your bod. I'm going to add a little bit to my nose. I always forget my nose. And I'm going to bring that down my neck. That's actually fine. A wee pale face. Now before we start to warm up the face, I'm going to actually use concealer. So I'm going to use my Maybelline Eraser Eye in the shade Light. You guys know I really like this stuff. So I'm going to make sure I've got tons of product. Oh, it's a bit much. We gonna be highlighting. And then I'm just gonna blend the concealer out with my beauty blender, just pouncing that on the skin. I absolutely love that word, pouncing. Just pouncing that on the skin. Pounce, pounce, pounce. And then I'm kind of using that concealer just to add a tiny wee bit more coverage. Looking good. That is looking like a nice base. Now I'm going to take the pigment stick in the shade 3.2 to do some cream contouring. I'm going to do all the usual kind of spots. So I'm going to start off little and then go bigger. So I've just got that much on just now, and I'm going to take the Sculpting Pro Evo brush, and we're just going to use that to gently blend away, and look at that, seamless. And I think it blends so easily because these brushes are like the softest. And then I'm just bringing that contour slightly up my cheeks once it's all blended. If you feel like you've gone a little bit too low down, like I have, you can just grab a beauty blender or even your buffer brush and you just sweep that away. Perfect. So we're looking super glowy. Now we have to set a little bit of the makeup, otherwise it's literally just going to slip about all day. So I'm going to take my pure 4-in-1 Pressed Mineral makeup in the shade Light Tan. I've been using this non-stop. I've actually hit the pan, if you look really closely. And we're just going to set. And with this powder, if you use circular motions, it adds a little touch of coverage as well, which I like. So something I love about this look is that it's not as contoured as my usual looks. It's more just like a kind of natural bronze. So I'm going to go in with my NARS Laguna bronzer. I found my new one, I'm delighted. And I'm going to go in with my Charlotte Tilbury blusher brush actually, but it's the perfect bronzer brush, and I'm just going to warm up my entire face. And I'm going right over the cream contour. Forehead. And now we're super bronzed. I'm going to prep my eyes now with the Laying Low Paint Pot by MAC. My one love, my one true love. I'm going to call my kid that. Laying low. Laying low, dinner's ready. And I just use the top of my beauty blender to pack that on because it goes on really nicely. It doesn't go too cakey. It's just like just the right amount of product. Let's zoom you in. Woo! I'm just going to quickly take my pressed powder over my eyelid to set everything. And I'm just using side to side strokes just to make sure all that creamy product's getting really pushed in there. Loving this base, guys. Loving this base. I'm just going to show you one brow and I'll show you the difference, right? Because this tutorial is going to be flipping so long. So I'm going to take a spoolie, brush through my eyebrow, and I've been trying to grow them in lately, so they are a little bit bushier than normal, which I'm vibing. And the thing with a kind of 90s themed brow is you want it to be pretty thick. So I'm going to actually start at the front, get that front nice and low down, and then I'm just going to follow the natural shape, and then we're going to extend the brow a little bit as well. And then we'll do the same thing on top, but I'm just going to start about 1 centimetre in, and I'm going to go around the natural shape, maybe just slightly outside the natural shape. And when I did these brows yesterday, I had a kind of reference image, so I basically just googled 90s supermodel makeup, and it came up with the exact look that I was liking, if you know what I mean. So you can see the difference already, they're just thicker. I'm going to slightly darken the end. And they're pretty blocky, they don't have like too much shape to them. Obviously back then, people didn't like pure carve out their brows, if you know what I mean. I'm going to take my brow mascara now, this is in the shade 1, I think it's the darkest shade. Brushing them up at the front and then taking that product right through. And then I'm just going to take a little flat brush and I'm just going to slightly tidy up. I've not got any product on it, I literally just wanted to get rid of that little smudge. And that for me is fine, so you can see the difference. And it didn't take long at all because I've already done my foundation. So I'm going to pop off camera and do this to this. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Now I've got my brows on, I'm actually going to quickly set my face with the Urban Decay De-Slick Makeup Setting Spray. And this is the oil control one. So we're just going to totally set that makeup. And then I'm going to go in with my beauty blender into my pure powder. And I'm going to set just the most oily of areas. Wow, that really works. I saw it on Chloe Morello's new video and I was like, I've never tried that. Let's get into the eye makeup, which is totally simple actually. It's really easy. So I'm going to use the brand new Tarte Clay Play Face Shaping Palette. Obviously these are eyeshadows up here and then you've got your contour shades down here, but you can also use these shades to highlight. It's like a multi-purpose palette, but we're going to use this. And I'm firstly going to set the whole lid with the colour Sand, and then I'm going to start building up the crease with Stone because I'm going to keep it pretty cool tone today because I am such a hoe for the warm colours. Not today. So I'm just going in with the light shade, going in with the shade Sand, mattifying that right down, and then we're going in with that colour Stone, And I'm gonna buff that onto the lid firstly and then carry it around the crease. Because one thing I noticed with 90s makeup is they don't have big blown out eyes at all. It's like really focused in on the crease and that's pretty much it. So it's taking everything I've got to not start blending way up. And remember guys, this isn't like a period makeup. This is a current day spin on a 90s makeup. And it's not like a 90s grunge makeup, it's more like the supermodel-y makeup. That's what I prefer. Now I'm going to take my Sigma E47 with the shade Stone again, and I'm going to go right underneath my lash line, right into the corner. And then I'm going to buff that out with my MAC 224 as always. I suppose it's quite grungy. Now I'm going to go in with Stone on the lid. I've used 2 eyeshadows so far. I'm going to take a tiny little brush, this is the Smith 247, and I'm going to go in with that shade Solstice, which is the lightest colour, and I'm going to do that underneath my brow. They loved a brow highlight in the 90s. And it's just going to help that crease colour blends really nicely too. I'm going to go in all over the lid with the shade Instinct, just here. It's still quite dark, but I need something to mattify and I don't want it to be super bright. Now I'm going to go and do mascara and lashes and we're going to see how we're looking. I've got a nice fresh set of my Lily lashes in Miami. Are these not so gorge? And then the mascara I'm using right now is my Pure Fully Charged mascara. It's fabulous. I'm on such a mascara hype right now, I'm finding all the good ones. So I'm going to build up these lashes super chunky. Okay, I'm just going to glue up these lashes. The glue that I'm using as always is my Duo Glue with the green writing. Ignore how grubby this is. But yeah, we're going to glue these up and then pop them on. While I'm waiting for my lashes to dry, I'm going to use my Charlotte Tilbury powder and sculpt brush and I'm just going to go down the sides of my nose. And this NARS bronzer is kind of perfect because it's actually not too warm. So if you remember like my MAC Give Me Sun, that's quite an orange tone bronzer. And I make sure that that's all kind of patted away. No crazy lines or anything, but it's nice to like scoop just right in here as well. So I just kind of set them on for a wee sec and then the heat of my eye will kind of start to dry the glue even more. So they're not perfect just now, but when they start to dry a little bit more, that's when I go in and I really give them a squeeze. Let's do lips next. We're going to save highlighting for last. I'm going to use the Rimmel lip pencil in the shade Cappuccino and I'm just going to go around my lips and I'm going to kind of accentuate the centre part of my lips, the Cupid's bow. So this is like the perfect 90s lip liner because it's a super cool toned but still like pretty dark brownie nude. And then on top we're going to go in with the Bite Cosmetics Blondie Multi-Stick. This is one of my favourite nude lipsticks and I'll show you why, it's just perfect. I'm going to put that on all over. And then I'm going to use my finger just to pat it in. So that for me is like my perfect nudie lipstick. And then now that we've done that, these lashes are ready to be properly fixed. So I just use my little Tarte lash helper, give them a little squeeze. And that is how you get kind of seamless lashes where you're not wearing any liner. Now I think it's time to highlight. I'm going to take my Iconic London Illuminator Drops. This is a brand new bottle. I ran out of my old one. So this is the original shade. I'm just taking one drop, I've learned my lesson, one drop with my beauty blender and we're just going to hit the highest points of the cheekbones. And I'm going to kind of just do the tiniest wee touch on the end of my nose and that is it. I've learned my lesson. One bottle of these, like that must have lasted me like nearly a year. And I used it like all over my body, all the time. It's crazy, this stuff lasts for ages, but it just gives the most beautiful glow to your skin. It's stunning. And now I'm going to put a tiny, tiny touch of the Too Faced Love Light Prismatic Highlighter. This is the shade Blinded by the Light. And we're going to get some on the brush. And we're just going to set that glow. And then we're going to do the exact same thing down the centre of the nose. I'm using my Dose of Colours shader brush. This is such a good brush for nose highlighting because it's so thin. You can get that really pretty line just down the centre of the nose. Now we're going to Tin Man the nose, obviously. Perfect. I'm actually not going to highlight my inner corner. I'm going to keep it kind of darker. Now all that's left to do is our beauty marks. So I'm going to take my Kat Von D Mad Max Brown liquid liner, and I'm going to do my usual little freckle just here. Just a kind of faint one, and then I'm going to do a freckle at the side of my lip as well. And then I'm going to take my brow wiz and I'm just going to go kind of over it a little bit. Ta-da! I hope you like it. Okay you guys, that is the finished look. Obviously my hair is like not 90s whatsoever, but I just thought this is like my favourite style of makeup ever. It's obviously super neutral, overdrawn lips, bronzy skin, full eyebrows. It's like my favourite era for makeup at the moment. It's just what I'm vibing with right now, okay? So I really hope you like this tutorial. As always, I will link everything that I used down below. And other than that, I will see you in the next one. Bye!